All right, guys, it's finally happening. The day has come, day one of the 2,500 gallon tank build for my monster fish. So, as you can see down here, we have some of the wood cut for our base. Obviously, we're going to start with our base because our base needs to be super strong for 2,500 gallons of water, which is like a lot of tons. I'll put it here. It's a lot of tons. So, this is just the start of a full series on me DIY building a plywood tank. We'll see how it goes. I've done my research. I've done what I've needed to do. I've done my due diligence, if you will. I don't know if that's going to be enough, but we got a lot of wood. So here, I have 2x4s for my base. I did see people use 2x6 for bases, and they stood them up. I figured that was a lot of wasted room to have stacked up, so I figured 2x4s on the bottom. It's not going to reduce the strength of said base. And so what I have is 6-foot 2x4s there, two of them, like two stacks. So I got to build this in two sections because 14 foot is a long distance, and you can't really find straight 16 footers. So I got 12 footers. I ripped them in half, so I have 16 total 6-foot 2x4s. And then on my end pieces, I did 7-footers. So it's going to be a box. 6 foot running this way, right? 6 foot running this way. And then 7 foot running this way. Essentially, I'm making a perfectly flat base for the tank to go on because we need a nice sturdy base to do that. And I bought 2 different things of screws. I bought some really expensive screws. I don't know, what are they? GRK fasteners, multi-purpose screws. These are 4-inchers. 4-inchers. This is 25 pounds of 2.5-inch deck screws. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff. Let's just say I got $180 in just screws alone. The lumber so far has only been like 50 bucks. 60 or 70 bucks, something like that, because I've only bought 2x4s. After the base, everything else is 2x6s, so it's going to be a little more pricey, but we'll make do. But as of right now, I'm going to start building this base. I'll take you guys with me on kind of how I'm building it. It's very simple, nothing to it. The base is essentially realistically, a lot of this is pretty easy. It's just pretty time-consuming and expensive and kind of sketchy if it fails because, like, it's a plywood tank, but, like, hey, man, if it's me, we can get her done. So I'm going to start kind of getting everything situated of how I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to start screwing. And then while I'm screwing, I'll kind of talk about a little bit what's going to go in here, how I'm going to do the filtration, kind of everything in my head. Let's just say my wanting to be a monster fish keeper, I'm just going to be a monster tank builder at this point, if this goes well. This series is going to be a crazy one, and I think my arapaima and arowana will thank me later, as well as my red-tailed cat. I'm sure they'll thank me later, if this goes well. So, let me go ahead and get everything situated, and we'll get back once I can get to screw. The total length of this tank is 14 foot, the dimensions, 14 foot by 5 foot, no, 14 foot by 4 foot by 5 foot wide. But I'm going 6 foot wide because when I do my 2x6 walls, the actual 2x6 is going to stick out 6 inches. Actually, I think it's like 5.5 or 5 1/4, but 5 inches there, 5 inches there, we're going to lose that dimension there. We're going to lose that room there. So I want like the interior of the tank to at least be 5 foot wide, 4 foot tall and 14 foot wide. It's going to be a little less than 14 foot because I didn't go as long. You know what I'm talking about. But now what I need to do is screw these boards together, keeping them all at the same spot on each. So we need equal distribution of all my 2x4s. I'm not just going to wing it. I'm going to figure out the math. I'm going to go half, 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 half of each section until I get it perfect. Get these all screwed in. And then just like that, our base is going to be good to go. So let me go ahead, get all this measured, marked, and screwed when we talk about what we're doing. All right, so I looked at my 2.5-inch deck screws, and they're not long enough. We're gonna use our 4-inchers. They're going to drive nice and deep into these 2x4s, so then I don't have to like over-sink anything. So we're gonna use 4-inchers for the entire, we're gonna use 4-inchers for almost this entire thing, other than screwing the plywood to the base and screwing the plywood to the walls. That's pretty much all we're going to be using this deck screw for, but let's go ahead, start screwing this bad boy in, and get going. So as you can see, I'm just screwing. I'm literally essentially making a wall and then setting it on the ground, right? That's going to be our base. Now, I did 10 inches on center because stronger the better. 10 inches on center, can't really go wrong with that. Let me tell you, 10 inches on center is what you're looking for. With that being said, we are laminating. We are going to be laminating OSB 3/4 inch and 3/4 inch plywood together. That is going to go on top of this initial base that I'm putting down. Now, the screws I'm using, I'm literally screwing these. I'm making this wall out of 4-inch screws. I'm using 4-inch screws. Let me tell you, they grab so much stronger than 2.5. It is insane. I'm not gonna lie about it. It is kind of crazy how hard they grab. So, just gonna continue getting this all hammered down and ready to go. You guys sit back and enjoy. Okay, that only took like an hour just to do that. Okay, it's gonna look a little something like that. Nice, but obviously shove further that way. All right, so what I did 10 inches on center. So we were nice and sturdy. I thought about going 12 inches on center, but we went 10 on center to make sure we got a nice sturdy base that's not gonna warp it all on us. Hey man, that's about as professional as I get. Look at that. That is perfect. I hate to pat myself on the back, but I have to make this thing perfect. So, that is how big the tank's gonna be. Is that not insane? That's the footprint. Look at the size of this tank. That's a 300-gallon. Look at the size of this thing. So I'm going to end up screwing those guys together so this turns into one essential beastie base. I'm going to attach those there in the middle. The only reason I did that is because, again, you can only get so long 14-footers. They're not going to be straight. So it's going to be nice and straight for us. Now, I'm going to get 3/4 inch OSB down first because OSB is like a good, it's like good for like that kind of pressure on, it's good for pressure. They use it on roofs. It's good like with pressure on it, right? I don't know how to word it, but it's good for pressure on it. We are going to do one layer of 3/4 inch OSB on the ground, and then on top of that, we're going to use actual plywood 3/4 inch on top of that. Double layer, double the protection, double the strength. Again, we don't want the bottom warping at all because that's where majority of the weight's gonna be, obviously, on the bottom. So double layered all the way through this, and then we're gonna have to start building the walls, again, attaching it to that. I'm not quite sure how we're gonna do the window part. I think I'm just gonna kinda skip the window, like still do my framing coming up, but obviously you can't screw through glass, so. But yeah, I would say this is a good, nice little day one. We will be back for day two with obviously the OSB plywood, and then after that, we'll be doing walls. I still haven't ordered glass. I still don't know what I wanna do. Do I wanna do 2 windows or 1 window? I'm thinking 1 window because technically it's gonna be much cheaper for me to do 1 window to buy 1 than it is to buy 2. I was thinking like a 3-foot by 6-foot window, 2 of those, or a 3-foot by 8 or 9-foot window. So essentially, this massive viewing panel on a 700 gallon, essentially this panel, but on this tank. This is for you, buddy. Keep growing, big boy. He's doing so good. So are you, buddy. You're getting nice and comfortable in that tank, ain't you? But yes, you are doing extremely well, buddy. He's just eating them pellets up. But yeah, everybody's doing good. Fabulous. These guys are just watching me build their new home, especially these two here. Yeah, it's taken some time, but hey, I like the start. A very good start. So we'll get back once we get some plywood and OSB down, and maybe we'll get the wood to start putting the walls up. I think the main attraction is going to be waiting on glass and waiting on epoxy because I haven't ordered either. So I should probably get on that. But let's get back to when we got our OSB. And just like that, it's been like 2 to 3 days. I just got 3/4 inch plywood and 3/4 inch OSB to get the base done on this bad boy. Now, I thought about getting some construction adhesive to adhere it to the 2x4s. So I was gonna get construction adhesive. You caulk all that, right? But here's what I got instead. I got legitimate wood glue. So what I'm thinking is wood glue all of my joists essentially and the whole base, slap the plywood on there. Not the plywood, the OSB. The OSB will go down first, slap that guy on there. Then I bought a gallon of wood glue, so we're going to put a boatload of wood glue in between my OSB slab and my plywood slab so we have a nice laminated, essentially 1.5 inch thick piece of wood for the base of this 2,500 gallon tank. I would say that should be super overkill for the strength for the 2,500. Now, I already got everything cut, I believe, perfectly for this whole thing. I got all the plywood cut down to where it needs to be. All I got to do, layer this with some glue, start slapping stuff on, then screw the plywood to the joists, and we should be looking pretty good. I'm gonna go get that wood. I'm gonna start gluing. Actually, we'll probably put the glue down first. And yeah, we'll get the plywood, screw it all down, and hey, we're gonna have one sturdy ass base for the 2,500. So, enough talking about it. Let's just do it, baby. Don't talk about it, be about it. Just like that, glues down. We got a nice line along the entire perimeter and all our joists. All I gotta do is start slapping some wood on there and just see what happens. Hopefully I cut everything correctly. 3/4 inch OSB. How big of a mess is this about to be? Probably a big one. Last but not least, Got our little one. And just like that, we got our pieces down, ready to go. We're gonna screw these in first. And then on top of this, once this is all screwed in, plywood's going on top of this. So I have 4 foot wide sheet, 4 foot wide sheet, 4 foot wide sheet, 2 foot wide sheet. So I'm gonna overlap my joints, right? So this one down here will be my 2-footer. For the plywood, will be 2-footer, my 4-footer. So we don't have such thick gaps here. We're going like this. Here's the plywood, or here's the OSB, right? And then the plywood's gonna cover right over top that seam. So we only have 1, 2, 3, essentially 3 seams on this tank that we need to fiberglass, other than the edges and the corners and whatnot. That's all we have to fiberglass. So let's go ahead, get this stuff screwed down with some standard deck screws. Get this screwed down, and then the plywood go right on top of it. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and just absolutely douse this bad boy here in some glue. We'll get our plywood, put it down, and then we're about to go crazy with some screws. I was kind of just getting the exterior of everything kind of down good, and then we'll go ahead, chalk line everything, get screws in every single 2x4. We're just gonna get after it. Ain't gotta be perfect, right? There we go, now we're getting it. Be shy with it. Don't be scared of it, that's for sure. Like I said, we want these pieces laminated together. And this is a lot easier than squeezing a caulk gun like crazy. The outside real good. Try not to step on it. The stronger the base is, the better. Considering all the weight is going to be on our base. So our base needs to be as strong as possible. I repeat, as strong as possible. You saw how I did it last time? We're gonna do it the same way, baby. So our 2-footer was over here, so we're gonna start with a 4-footer over here. Yeah. Look at us. Look at us, baby. We getting it. The base. Now we just got to put a whole bunch of screws in this bad boy. I'm not going to bore you guys with all the screwing and whatnot. Some of you may like. But I'm going to get this all done, and then we'll see what our finished base is looking like. All right, well, we have screws galore in this entire thing. My hand is severely damaged. Yeah, but guess what? It's done. The base is fully completed. The only thing I really have to do is make sure I sunk all my screws low enough to where I can actually like putty all of my screw holes closed. So we have a nice flat surface. So we're gonna get all the knots taken care of, any holes, any blemishes, anything like right there, get it all nice and flat. So we have a nice flat, good surface for the epoxy, the pond armor shield stuff, the blue stuff, to have a nice surface to stick to. Nice flat surface to stick to. So, and just like that, we have our base completed for our 2,500 gallon build, baby. Just like that, 1 week down, we have ourselves a nice sturdy base. Now, I'm gonna need to buy some 2x6s so we can frame up the entire outside and where the window's gonna go. We need to frame the entire outside of the pond. This is going to be a full series of the pond build. Next video, we're going to be, like I just said, putting the walls up, 2x6s, studding it out. We'll probably do 10 inches on center again and or 12 inches on center again. And then we'll have to sheet that whole side just with plywood, not OSB, just plywood. Make it nice and smooth again for the pond shield, pond armor to stick to. I'm pretty excited. This is a pain in the ass, but it's gonna look sick. Like I said, it's gonna absolutely dwarf this 700 gallon. It's gonna be incredible. Look at the size of this thing. You know, I could have just bought a pool and just put a pool in here, but it doesn't look as cool. It doesn't look as cool. I'm gonna have a giant viewing panel. Honestly, we might do 2. I don't know what I wanna do yet. I might want a 10-foot long window. It's 14 foot long. I might want a 10-foot long window. That thing's 9 foot, I think, 9 or 10 foot. Just have that 1 foot taller on this behemoth. I'm thinking I might do that. I still don't know yet. I should probably figure that out before I go ahead and try and frame it all up, right? You guys put down in the comments what you would like to see. A big window is technically cheaper because I only have to buy 1 piece of acrylic, but 2 windows, 1 window looks way cooler. But if you guys enjoyed the video, like, subscribe. If you guys want to stick around for the massive build, I'd appreciate that. So, I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.